Hey everybody, it's your girl Angie. Welcome back to Kiss My Cheeks TV. Let's jump right into Love and Marriage, Huntsville. I have so much on my mind, you all. I'm going to try to get through this review. I just got a phone call maybe 30 minutes ago from my son's high school football trainer. They were supposed to be at football practice, but apparently the boys decided it was a good idea to go play basketball 1 hour before football practice, and my son has rolled his ankle and needs an x-ray first thing in the morning. And the first thing I'm thinking is, Lord, I hope it's not broke. I'm yelling at him like, it's your senior year and you want to go play basketball and mess up your senior year. Like, he's a starter, a starting offensive lineman, and this is your hurrah year, and you want to start off with an ankle injury. And I got a booster club meeting. I'm the treasurer on the booster club, so I got a booster club meeting in 2 hours. So I'm just trying to get through this. Forgive me if my happy, bubbly, joking spirit is a little low today. I'm going to try to, as I go through it, read a little bit because some people deserve to be read. It's just hard to get this kind of information like out of nowhere. But let's move on because it could be a lot worse. Love and Marriage, Huntsville. It's starting to be repetitive. It's starting to be a lot of yin yang, ya ya. Let's meet up in separate circles and talk about the same shit. It's hard to review that because I got to come over and it's like Marceau and Tisha met up to talk about the Holtz. And over here, Mel and Martell met up to talk about the Scotts. And Miss Wanda is over here to talk about Mel. Like, it's going to start to get hard to review. As executive producers, Mel and Martell, y'all should have brought the Ariane girl on to give us some spice, a different spin, a different story. Kiowa needs to already be in Huntsville. I'm so happy. Let's just get that little part. I'll skip it when I get to it in my notes. I'm so happy Kiowa, and y'all can read me in the comments because at the reunion last year, I said a little bit of the opposite, but I could be wrong. But I'm happy that Kiowa is on board and Monsters with his dad. And what is that boy's real name? But anyway, Monster is with his dad and everything is good in Huntsville with him. He enjoys his friendships and school there and spending time with his dad. I agree. Men need their fathers, and I understand it now that I see it. I don't know if I could do it, but my son is senior, so that time has passed. But moving on, because it ain't about me. Let's just get right into the notes. It starts with Tisha giving her speech. Tisha, you did a great job on that speech. I don't hate on you, Tisha. You just aggravate me a lot, and you ain't the only one. Those Holts aggravate me just like y'all Scots aggravate me. But you did a good job on that speech, and I thought, Goal Girl, that organization, I like that name. I really like that name. I'm happy Marceau showed up with the flowers, but who watching these kids? Y'all said it. Y'all be talking like, oh, if I'm doing something, Marceau has to watch the kids, and Marceau is angry, but people hire babysitters all the time. Moving on from that. But Miss Wanda looked good. I like Miss Wanda's outfits and hair this season. Miss Wanda saw how she looked last season, a damn mess with them old school ass finger wave styles. I ain't mad at it because I used to have me some finger waves too, but it's 2020, girl. But Miss Wanda said, I got to step it up. She came on TV looking good. I ain't mad at you, Miss Wanda, for your makeover. But Miss Wanda is only on the show to start shit. She's the shit starter of the show, the bone carrier, may you call it. I wouldn't be surprised if Miss Wanda is not the one sending shit off to the blogs on her daughter and son-in-law's behalf. Miss Wanda gives it to Marceau too, because she said, yeah, I'm happy you showed up, but where your ring? Where your wedding ring? Where your wedding ring, Marceau? I don't care what anybody says. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Just the persona of Marceau, his character makes me believe everything And Martell is a liar. I look at both of them as the same. Like, I just don't like either one of those gentlemen on the show. But I don't know. Like, why do you always not have your ring on? Like, you at an event with your wife, wear your ring. Now, I know y'all like, bitch, you ain't got your ring on right now. You right. You right. I a part of me can understand the other side of it because I hate rings. Like, when I'm in the house, like, people put those surveys out, like, when do you take your wedding ring off? Only when you get in the shower, da, 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 da. I'm like, as soon as I come in the door. Like, when I take my earrings off for the day, I take my wedding ring off and put it up. Like, if I'm in the house, I don't have to have a ring on. Half the time, if I'm just running to the store and back, I don't have to have my ring on. Like, I'm just not a ring person. So maybe Marceau isn't a ring person. I don't know, but I feel like he creeping. Anyway, Miss Mama Wanda, she here to talk shit. She up here bringing up, why didn't Mel show up? You think Mel would have showed up? I'm like, why would Mel show up to Tisha's event when she just kicked Tisha out of her event? Mel, I'm sure, was not invited. Mel has enough sense to know if I'm not invited, why am I taking my ass over there? She brings up Mel to some new girl April, and then the new girl April talking about misery loves company. We ain't got time to be worried about who man is who man and who cheating on who. We trying to, she said, some people make mess, some people make money. And I say, I like that one. I like that one. Some people make mess, some people make money. But I don't like April, though. Some about her I don't like. She just here to be Tisha's friend because I'm sure Mel doesn't want to film. It's going to be hard to do an ensemble show when the ensemble doesn't want to film with each other. And just a side note, I don't know how Love and Marriage Huntsville is going to continue when one of the executive producers no longer lives in Huntsville. Mel is in Atlanta with all her kids. Now, her and Martell can divorce. Yes, please do, because it seemed toxic. That's side support. We already know what Martell is up to. But if she would have stayed in Huntsville, they could have kept the show. But you can't have Love and Marriage Huntsville from Atlanta. But moving on from that, Kimmy looked good in her red outfit. I like that outfit Kimmy had on. Miss Wanda versus Kimmy, that was one of the big previews of last week, and it was kind of like womp womp. Miss Wanda said something to Kimmy. Kimmy said 2 words, and they left it alone. So it seems like Miss Wanda versus Kimmy is really gonna go down next week. Let's move on from that. The Holts were there with their cute little baby Milani. I was like, Milani is so cute. They talking about something about Martell being arrogant, and he gets offended that people say that he's arrogant. And I'm like, why? It's the truth. Like, Martell lies so much. He hates the truth. Like, that's a true statement, and you should just accept it. And if you don't like it, change it. Then they bringing up this sex tape. Apparently, somebody said, what if there was a video, a sex tape video of somebody's mother? Now, this, I was looking at Twitter the other day, and this was all on Twitter. Tisha talking about, we ain't never say who, mama. But as I think about what I read on Twitter and the context of the conversation they were having on the show, apparently it was rumored that Marceau's brother, Mark, it's too many M's, was dating, rumored, Melanie's mama. Now, Melanie's mama was like, I ain't never dated him. I worked for, and it's the Schultz company, which I think is Marceau and Tisha's company, Schultz. And she was like, I'm the one who helped make the company it is what it is. I was there from the ground up. And I'm like, okay, all right, that was your job. You supposed, if he was paying you, that was your job. But apparently, I'm assuming that Mark must have told Marceau, we made a sex tape, and that's how they threw that out there to infer that Miss Wanda had a sex. Not that ain't what's Melanie's mama name? I don't know. Not Miss Wanda, but Melanie's mama had a sex tape out there. Now Melanie's mama didn't deny it outright. She just said if there was a sex tape, I was single and I'm grown. And I'm like, you right. Do you? But by you saying that makes me think, okay, is there some truth to this? And then I was watching Funky Dineva while I was working this morning. And he was like, if it was a sex tape, it's an old school VHS. And she ain't worried about it because ain't nobody got a VHS machine. I was like, you right. We sure don't have any VHS machine. But there's, to me, as much dirt as the Holtz and the Scotts are throwing at each other on national television, there's no coming back from this friendship. Martell and Mel are in the comments calling Marceau a fat boy with hips, and you know he lost a lot of weight, and I'm like, who cares? Like, he's not that anymore. So you don't want people to go back in your past and call you what you were, Mel. Like Martell, you probably don't care. But Mel, you don't want people talking about how you were a man stealer, just happy to have a man, one of your line sisters, all the rumors, people talking about you. So you shouldn't be talking about Marceau and his past. I already talked about Mama Mel and Mark dating. Now move on. I already talked about Kiowa. Everyone's moving to Huntsville in that video. Because eventually Monster got off the FaceTime and Maurice got on the FaceTime. And I was happy to see them have a peaceful conversation, a happy, friendly, co-parenting conversation. Kaya was like, yeah, we up to moving to Huntsville. And then you saw her husband, Zay, in the background. And he said, what's up to Zay? Now, apparently, Zay used to date, I wrote in my notes, Maurice's sister. And I said, this is a mess. I said, is it the same sister who was talking shit about Kiowa last season in Maurice's office? Because now it makes more sense. Now it makes more sense. Kiowa married your man. I'm like, is it nobody but the Scotts in Huntsville to date? I know they said Mama Scott had a whole bunch of kids, but is it nobody else to date in Huntsville? Like Melanie Mama, Kiowa's sister, it's confusing. It's confusing, and I can see the drama behind all the triangle dynamics. It makes for good television. And side note, Zay is kind of cute. Moving on. Somewhere they was playing basketball. Marceau complained about his kids again. And I'm fast forward. So what? One of them, everybody know elementary school, middle school, high school, they all start at different times. Move on, Marceau. Why you have all these kids if you don't want to take care of? I don't understand. Sadaric thinks he's the peacemaker of the group and he wants everybody to make up. He thinks they can be friends again. I already said, once you start talking about somebody mama got a sex tape and y'all calling the police on each other, no, it ain't no making up from this. Not even TV makeup. Like when the housewives do little stuff, they do little stuff and you know they TV makeup. I don't see it. Martell, they say, Marceau says Martell called me a bitch. I've heard other people call you one too, so, oh well. But apparently, that's the end of the world. Moving on, Kimmy had a little birthday surprise. Her son showed up. She was like, I never missed the birthday with Jalen being here. And then Jalen came up with the dessert. Bam. They talked about some other shit, but it was boring. So let's move on. Now we have an ambush at the gym. And Sadaric did some old middle school stuff where I'm going to invite both of them to the gym, but I ain't going to tell neither one of them the other one is coming. I'm like, this is stupid. You better be happy they ain't start fighting. Martell walks in. He needs to speak to Marceau. Moving on. They still talking about stuff that happened at the reunion, and I'm like... Like, they do so many reunion flashbacks. That's why y'all needed Ariane on the show. You needed Kiowa in Huntsville. Because we need to get on past season 1. Like, what else y'all got to tell us? Because we knew Martell was cheating season 1. What else you got to say? Because if you ain't going to take it to the next step of the storyline and just go ahead and bring the side chick on here, we just going to keep rehashing that he's a cheater. Okay, we know this. Miss Wanda is on attack mode. What did I say? I don't know why I said Miss Wanda was on attack mode, but she is. I think because somebody said that. I don't know, but moving on. Martell tells Marceau, you must not like living in Huntsville because you don't know who I am and you don't know who my family is. And Marceau took that as a threat. Like, why are you telling me I must not like living in Huntsville and telling me who your family is? And so I guess that's why Marceau called the police on Martell. And I'm like, come on, Marceau. This is some bullshit. Are you scared of Martell? Like, y'all homeboys, you should... People everywhere got family in the hood. And they always like, you don't know who my cousin is? I'll call my cousin to come whoop your ass or whatever. Everybody got some hood family that's down for anything. Family over everything. And if you fuck with their family, all they got to do is make a phone call and it's on and popping. I'm sure everyone has someone they can call. People say that shit all the time. You don't know my family. You don't know me. I hate when people say that shit, but I hate when people say that shit because everybody can say the same thing. Like, you're not scaring nobody. You can call. I can call too. And who your cousin? And anyway, Martell said I called you a bitch because you released my tax returns to some blogger. And Marceau was like, that ain't even in my DNA to do nothing like that. And I don't like Marceau, but I agree. Marceau seems like the type who's not with the bullshit. Like, because he's always yelling at Tisha. To me, that's some shit Tisha would do. That's some shit Miss Wanda would do. And they might try to blame it on Marceau. Marceau is the type that will ignore you, and like he's just above the bullshit. I feel like Marceau probably halfway doesn't even want to do this show no more because he could probably see his shit bubbling up and it's getting ready to be exposed. Like, I really feel like this gonna be the last season because where else do you go from here? Where else do you go from here? Now let's move on. This is the end of the show. It's thundering outside. And I got a meeting. This is the end of the show. Marceau ain't do nothing but go home and tell Tisha, y'all the hoax this. And Mel ain't did nothing, but she met Martell up at the office. I like their little work office. I wonder what happens to the business. Like, did Melanie just give up all of the business and move to Atlanta? And she just gonna start over in Atlanta? I think that's a bad idea, Mel. I ain't saying you a bad bitch, Mel. I ain't saying you can't do it, but Atlanta is saturated with people who do what you were doing, and it seemed like you had that niche in Huntsville. And Huntsville is a growing city because everybody in my husband's family is moving to Huntsville. Like, every phone call, so-and-so moved to Huntsville. So-and-so moved to Huntsville. Like, his whole family, they already in Alabama, but they're migrating to Huntsville. So I would have stayed there. Because it's going to be hard for you in Atlanta, girl. It's a million sassy, black reality chicks. I ain't saying you can't do it. I'm just saying you were the one in Huntsville, and now you want to go to Atlanta where you got to compete with the Nenes, the Portias, all them loving hip-hop chicks, all the wannabe basketball wife chicks that, like, the Malaysias who are now in Atlanta. Ain't Jennifer Williams in Atlanta? Like, I don't know, Mel. I feel like you should have stayed in Huntsville. But anyway, we at the end of the show. Jalen and Marceau are in that, what do they call it? Commercial. It's like a strip mall that he's building, and he's going over the rules and the codes and whatever. And in comes Mel. I thought it was going to be the confrontation this week, but credits. The show is off. So I guess we're going to see what Mel has to say to Marceau next week. I don't understand. Like, your husband just confronted this man and should have said the Holtz piece then. Why do you have to go confront this man next? I'm gonna say some shady shit. I know it ain't true, but I'm gonna say it anyway. By you, I gotta see what you gotta say, but to me, you shouldn't have shit to say to him. Like, it's making what Tisha say a little bit true. And if y'all ain't watched the reunion, just watch the reunion. I probably was wrong for saying that because I don't believe it's true at all. But I just don't see what Mel has to say to Marceau. Like, Mel, your issue is with Tisha. Anyway, get in the comments. Let me know what y'all thought about this week's episode. We'll talk about it. And I can't wait to see the fireworks because it looked like Miss Wanda getting ready to get cussed out next week by Kimmy. Kimmy was respectful for you at this little event, but she gonna cuss you out at the house. All right, y'all. Like, comment, share. Talk to y'all later. Bye.